Hello, this is Donovan Jackson, offensive line coach, run game coordinator at Savannah State University. I started this presentation with a brief synopsis of what we do pre-practice. I created an agility circuit. I seen the need to improve my linemen's overall functions, and as a result, I wanted to improve footwork and overall agility work. As you can see, some core pieces of being a dominant zone, inside zone, outside zone team is just understanding the overall scheme and certain nuances such as flexibility, being able to be actually flexible and execute the blocking scheme, maximizing effectiveness in the actual scheme. Another thing that I really place an emphasis on is just being able to have good stability. All offensive line must be able to move his feet quickly and his footwork without actually stumbling, and having a good center of balance, center of gravity. So these are all key components that I understood, and the reason why I actually implemented our footwork circuit that we utilize pre-practice, each practice. As you can see now, we just do 1 foot in each box, and we'll go 1 foot each box down and back, 2 foot each box down and back. And just overall emphasis is just trying to get them to understand the importance of moving their feet, accelerating their feet, or what they say, buzz their feet. We want them to be fast, we want feet to be active, and we want to think fast, we want to play fast. So this is just an emphasis on playing fast and trying to move and pick up our feet as fast as we can. You see us go back laterally. The objective now is actually to have eyes up, not to be looking down. You don't want to have to look at your feet. You want to be able to understand where the bags are, anticipate, pick your knees up, all right, toes up, no lazy feet, okay? Good football posture. They stand up a little higher than I would want them, but that was what we were trying to accomplish in that. Now you see us doing explosions, up, exploding up, backpedaling down, trying to work on those fast twitch muscles, understanding that it's all about get off in the trenches. You have to be able to get off the football, get that second down quick, and we want to make sure that we doing everything we can do in practice, pre-practice, to make sure that they understand the importance of just exploding up, being explosive football players, transferring that center of power from the bottom all the way up through the top, being explosive. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here in these explosions and back pedals. Not bad by 71. Like his pad leverage a little lower. 72, a little top heavy, but he's moving his feet. This is why we're doing this drill, trying to make sure that they understand the importance of having quick, fast feet. Good job by 52. All right, little high pad leverage by 61 and 63, both young kids. But like I said before, when you hear Savannah State, and you're dealing with a young group of kids, you got to build them from the ground up, and you have to be willing to go within the curve of learning with them. There will be a maturation that will take place, and as a coach, you got to be able to go down and be willing to meet them at ground zero and build them from the ground up. Now, this next slide, we're just talking about a little bit about developing zone offensive linemen, a little more, some things that's really important when you're trying to get that part of your run game situated. Field vision. Linemen must have excellent field vision, understanding the defensive front and the reactions of the defenders once the ball is snapped. Secondly, we like, and especially up front, you want to have some pretty high IQ guys on the offensive line. Got to have pretty good football IQ. Linemen must have the intelligence to execute the play and read the defense's reactions. Zone scheme offensive linemen must also learn how to set up the play with their alignment and technique. Very, very important. And it just overall, it requires the understanding of the defensive concepts that they're going to see. And then lastly, just the nature of who we are. just the physicality component of what we want to accomplish up front. You know, this is just general requirement. You know, we want to approach each and every play as if, you know, we're going to dominate the guy in front of us. You know, we want to make sure that we're moving people, getting people vertical. We want to take pride in getting our second down quick, exploding, having good knee drive, good hand strain, elbows in tight, and finishing each and every block. And as I mentioned before, we utilize these drills, our drill circuit, for our footwork pre and sometime post practice. But as you see now, this is one of my flexibility drills, old school duck walks. The intention is to work on those flexors, hip flexors, understanding where we like to play football within our frame, and being able to bend and be flexible, and preferably not being on your toes. You want all your cleats in the ground and being able to establish that level of flexibility. So that's what we're trying to do. You don't take a lot of time, but you just take a little time, maybe 1-2 minutes, try and get them in and get them out, and get them to work on that flexibility. As you can see, I had a lot of guys that were stiff, and as the season progressed, they actually improved on their flexibility, which ultimately made them better football players. This here was done a little bit during camp when we first started. Normally we'll do this 2 times. You know, we'll go down and back, down and back. Normally doesn't take that much time. You'll see them now. You're ready to bring it back. Butt should be down near the ankles. Okay. Elbows should be in tight versus out wide. Everything that we would be expected to do in a run block, we would want to practice those same techniques. And like I said before, some of these guys are young. I'm fresh from high school, so you know, you're having to coach to do the little things, you know, with them. But that's the emphasis of the drill, making sure that we do everything right, making sure that we work on our flexibility, and more importantly, our hip flexors. You can see 68 hurting a little bit from working out those hips a little bit. Now, for any contact information or anything, you know, that you would need, you have it on that previous slide. The first thing we're going to start with is just the overall gap scheme, you know, and one of the biggest plays, one of the marquee plays for the gap scheme is power bases, you know, and you know, power bases for the most part, you just understanding that play side combinations on the gap scheme or power, which leads to the backside, which means everybody's pretty much responsible for the backside gap. You have a rule of thumb, which is normally gap down backer. If there's nobody in your gap to block down on, go down to the linebacker. Everybody takes care of that backside gap. Normally it's accompanied by either a kick out, whether if it's 2 back, a running back, or if it's 1 back, maybe a guard or some sort. But it's a staple that you have to be able to hang your hat on when you're trying to establish the line of scrimmage and trying to set the tempo for a football game. All right, normally what we'll do in our power man schemes, you know, we'll do starts, stance and starts. We'll work boards, of course, and then some of our Crawford drills, we'll do fit and finish, working on our fit. And we also work on our finished man drives, just putting it all together, and then some of our combination calls that we call rays, lukes, power bases, and trays. Okay. Some more of our terminologies continue. Now you will see it. One thing that I tried to do that I really think helped us because we were so young was I tried to synchronize our steps versus just taking it all at one time. We did a 1, 2, and then 3, which was finished with every step we took. So we would work on that first 6-inch step, then we work on that second, accompanied with your hands, and then we would work on number 3, which would be putting 1 and 2 together, and that would be the finish. All right. And I found out that I got a chance to place extra emphasis on each phase of that step versus just having them doing it all at one time. I would get a chance to look at the first step, the second step, and then them putting 1 and 2 together to do 3. Now right here, right now, we're just doing right foot and left foot lead steps. Okay. You will see them now. That first step should be a short 6-inch step. Okay, that second step right now should be gaining ground and normally accompanies your hands, okay, and your explosion. All right. And then when you get to phase 3, now you're finishing up the board, low center of gravity, elbows in tight, exploding through the defender, finishing the block. Eyes up. One rule of thumb that I always coach my guys on is you play football with your feet, hands, and your eyes. Okay, if you see him, he is blocked. You can't block what you can't see. All right. This will be continued. You know, we continue to go through it. You'll see some of these younger guys with bad techniques. All right, things that we have to work out is so early on in camp. We work them out. But as I said before, it's very important to focus in on the fundamentals and the core of being able to execute good steps, especially in the run game. Now here, you'll see us now, we're working on our pull steps, what I call cranking the lawnmower. One huge mistake that a lot of players, especially young players, make in this pull step is they don't gain ground on this step. They like to pivot that step. They have to actually pick that pull step up and gain ground with it. Toes should be facing in the direction they're pulling. Okay, that second step will be vertical. Okay, and then they'll get down the line of scrimmage, what my coach used to call scraping for skin. We want to scrape at an angle, inside out leverage of the defender that we're kicking out. First guy past the center. Okay, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be taught to read the block. If the guard blocks down, he's going to get in his hip pocket and scrape and look the wrong shoulder. Okay, so we got to be tight in the line of scrimmage, make sure that we kick inside out, maintain inside out leverage. All right, and for that, you have to take a great pull step and make sure you scrape for skin. Now, here we go. You see us now working some double teams. Okay. Just working on training our feet and our eyes. Okay. It was poor by 65. We want to stay thick on this guy. We want to come off on the last minute on the linebacker. All right, here we go. Got some game clips against Colorado State. All right. Now, we want to try and run what we call Dallas, which is our tackle trap. We want to try and run that to the split inside. Okay, what you're going to see a great double team to 33. Okay, you're going to see that right now. All right, you're going to see us turn out, and you're going to see our tackle turning up for this linebacker. Okay, right now, got a pretty good nose on it. Okay, not a bad play. Okay, we need to secure the backside a little more, but positive yardage. Okay, here we go, another gap scheme play, Porky. Okay, which is our power. Right now, we want to find that 3 technique, and we want to double team him right now to the backside. Okay, we want to get movement. We have to get movement. Okay, you have to. Anytime it's 201, we must win. That's our approach to each and every play. Okay. We double team the 3 technique. Tackle had a little bit too much lean. Okay. Didn't see the backer. Got to get his head out of there. Be less aggressive. Okay. And put himself in a position to where he can maintain that block. All right. Some more clips versus Florida A&M. Razorback, which is our 2-back power. Same concepts, double to the backside. You see tackle again, seeing the backer late. Okay. Partly because his head and his eyes weren't in position. That's why we said we play football with our feet, hands, and eyes. All he needs is to step to that backside gap, which he's responsible for. Stay thick on the double team and train his eyes and come off on that backer a little faster. Okay, have a better play. Here we go. Have our ISO play. All right. Pretty good job on this double team here. All right. Not bad. All right, now our next phase that we have is our zone schemes. And pretty much your zone run scheme just basically says that everybody's responsible for the play side gap. Now, one very intricate part of the zone scheme is quite naturally you have your inside zone and your outside zone. And what I like to do, especially with young players, is I like to give them aiming points. Aiming points that are associated with both inside zone and outside zone. So with our inside zone, if we're running inside zone, our aiming point is always midline. Okay, and we want to get midline to the nearest defender right now, to the play side defender. We want to be midline on that guy. And we want to make sure that we get him and we get vertical and we get movement. That way our running back can decipher between which hole, whether it's the play side or whether it's the backside A cutback that he's going to look for. But we want to make sure that we're not too partial play side or backside. We want to be midline and create those seams. All right. Now, if it's outside zone, quite naturally on the backside, we want to really be scooping hard. Okay, trying to get that backside arm through, climbing to the play side, trying to get to the second level. Front side, we want to lock into that play side number. We want to stay on and we want to attach and we want to secure the perimeter and allow for our running back to get to that edge. And we do the same things. We'll do starts, zone steps, fit drills. We'll work 2-on-2 play sides, which is our scoops, our zone bases, and our reaches and stuff. And then we'll work the scoops on the backside, making sure we secure that guy. If you got a backside 3 technique, you want to secure that backside 3. Some teams will play you a head up 2. You want to secure that 2, all right, with that tackle and that guard, making sure that we understand proper scoop principles. All right. We need some other things that we'll work within it. Some basic principles of the swap and scoop. You see backside combination on inside zone that requires the backside tackle to take over a weak side 3. Okay, guard gives a hand and goes to the next level. Depending upon the depth of that linebacker would determine how long that guard can stay on that block. One thing he has to understand is he has to be very much gap disciplined. He has to understand that he has gap responsibilities regardless of the alignment of that defensive lineman. So if it's zone right and I'm responsible for the play side gap, I am responsible for that right side gap, okay, or if I'm a left guard, I'm responsible for that A gap to my right side, regardless of that 3 technique on my left shoulder. I still have to take my short 6-inch step to my gap, okay, maintain thickness, and as we secure that scoop, have my eyes gravitated to my responsibility, which in most cases would be that backside wheel. See us here working on our zone steps. First step should get you even with the board. Second step should be vertical. Okay, and third step you're finishing right now. Okay. See a clip of us taking a step versus our conference foe, South Carolina State. All right, we rushed for 220 yards versus South Carolina State, which was the highest in the conference that they had garnered or given up the whole year. And it was partly predicated on our zone run game. Did a great job here of taking our zone steps, being gap disciplined. Okay, 52 sealed it, had 2-on-1 on the outside. Okay, so he slow played it, picked that guy up, and that was the block to secure the touchdown. Our steps continued here, zone steps continued. Here's another clip here, inside zone, okay, against our same team, South Carolina State. You'll see here right now, great job. 52 has a 3 on the backside, okay. Did a great job of cutting this guy, securing it right now, and right guard gets up to the backer, and now we're playing football. It's a great job of understanding our gap responsibility on that.